Here's how to know a motorcycle video is gonna do well on YouTube. Step 1, make the title about Leaderbike. Step 2, include the K5 Gixxer Thou in the thumbnail. Step 3, make a dick joke and then profit. See guys, it's just that simple, but seeing as how I actually need to make a video, why don't I give you what you came for? A list making fun of Leaderbike riders because we all know they definitely didn't run out and buy a Leaderbike to prove their dads on Harleys that, see, I'm a real boy, love me, dad, please, father, please love me. Why do we always think that Leaderbike riders are overcompensating for something? Wait, it's because they bought an overpowered race bike with lights and then almost exclusively ride it on the street without ever getting it out of third gear. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Leaderbike riders come in a lot of shapes and sizes, but today we're talking solely about riders out there on your stereotypical crotch rocket. That means no hyper nakeds, no street fighters, super tourers, what have you. Just fast boys on fast bikes. We've got 7 Leaderbike boys and girls because squidding knows no gender, and we're gonna give them all their time in the sun. But rest assured, there are other types that didn't make the cut. Maybe you should drop down 1 or 2 in the comments, and who knows, maybe we'll make a part 2. Anywho, let's dive in with perhaps the most obvious entry on today's list, the K5 Gixxer Bro. As far as this rider is concerned, Leaderbike production stopped in 2005 when Suzuki dropped the K5 Gixxer Thou, which immediately stopped the competition. Now that I think about it, I think Suzuki generally fits in this category, seeing as they're not willing to move on from the K5. I mean, they keep stuffing it into new models because there's no way that an engine from 16 years ago can possibly be defeated, right? Now, much like the Hayabusa men and boys, the K5 Bro comes in 2 distinct species. The Bro species can be usually identified from a quarter mile away because their straight pipe is blaring at 11,000 RPM just in case they need to make a quick getaway or pop a wheelie to assert dominance of other forms of Leaderbike riders. Their bike always has LED lights, usually installed by the previous owners with a few wires dangling out of their plastics for good measures. They may or may not have a stretch swing arm depending on what state of Gixxer maturity or lack thereof they're in. And the other species is the Gixxer Fellow. This rider has an exhaust on their bike and that's it. They always shift at 8,500 RPM per their owner's manual, so it's not bother anyone. Come on guys, that's where Suzuki put all the torque and intended for you to ride the motorcycle. It's possible you'll see this rider wearing a Gixxer branded jacket, a Suzuki X-Star livery helmet, probably in a mirror colorway. You don't want to bin like Rins, do you? And they always park their bike in a garage filled with special Suzuki branded floor mats. The Gixxer Fellow and the Gixxer Bro are fiercely territorial and need to be kept apart from one another lest a simping turf war ensues. But on their own, they just love a bike from 2005 and want to have fun, which is admirable, I suppose. Moving on from the fun-loving Leaderbike rider is one that's not having fun whatsoever. It's the Ride to Survive Leaderbike rider. This rider has a brain polished smooth by years of consuming content from the Fast and Furious franchise and pounding nothing but Monster energy drinks. But they have one teensy tiny problem. They can't look cool driving a muscle car around with one hand on the wheel and the other wrapped around a Corona because cars are really expensive. So they had to look elsewhere for their speed fix, and wouldn't you know, you can buy a perfectly nice used Leaderbike on Craigslist for like $6 grand. It doesn't matter that their only riding experience on 2 wheels was riding around a 125cc 4-stroke dirt bike about a decade ago. It's like riding a bike, right? They rock up to the owner of the bike, chat about it, and then slap down a stack of hundreds without even test riding it, and then waddle out of the driveway on their start to their 2-wheeled adventure with 175 horsepower, ready to go. Everything is going okay until they hit the first on-ramp to the highway and enter warp speed, see the face of God, and wet themselves all at the same time. As it turns out, there's nothing on the planet that feels as fast as a Leaderbike when you ride it for the first time. Then they get home, stuff it in the garage, and only take it out once every few weeks thinking that they're ready for it. Spoiler alert, they're not, and they never will be. Guys, this is why we say never start on a Leaderbike. Yes, some of them have power modes, but rain mode is still going to give you north of 150 horsepower. Just start on an R7 or something like that. Do you feel like arguing the merits of starting out on a Leaderbike, but feel like your comment is falling on deaf ears? Then why not hop in the Discord server where you can literally write me your 2,000-word dissertation on the realities of learning to ride on a Leaderbike and how you did it and how you're the fastest guy at your local track day or whatever. That's right, you can actually at at me in the Discord and I have to listen to you, like by law. Or maybe you're just looking to upgrade from your Gixxer 250 to a real motorcycle and only a Leaderbike's gonna do it. Well, we've got the Ducati 1098 on offer over on YammieNoob.co. If you sign up there, you'll get entered to win, get access to the Discord server, behind the scenes content, and more. There's also shop.YammieNoob.co and merch.YammieNoob.co where you can buy hats, t-shirts, tires, parts, and more, and every dollar you spend is an inch to win our bikes. But you know, if you're not feeling social or anything, either way, you're helping out the channel and you're getting a chance to win some pretty sweet bikes at the same time. You should definitely check it out. Oh, and Turbo Busa, just thought I should remind you, subscribe. It's your fault, we're not at 1 million subscribers yet. Now, number 3 goes to the track day novice. When you see leader bikes at the track, they usually comes in a few forms. One being the current or ex-racer who might as well be a space alien and is just gonna blow past you no matter what you're riding. Then you got the rich dude just out for fun on his Panigale V4, R1M, or other homologation superbike. And finally, you've got the Leaderbike bro who's sick of getting speeding tickets and finally decided to take it to the track. The thing is, you very quickly realize that you might think you're hot stuff going down your favorite twisty canyon road, but then you get out on track and you get passed by some 13-year-old kid on the outside on a Ninja 400. Yeah, you realize very quickly what a Leaderbike is all about when you can open it up on the track. It's almost like 200 horsepower technological superbike isn't the best learning tool when you're trying to figure out how to go fast. But hey, you've got all those nannies making sure you're not gonna bit it out the back straight, right? You should be okay, right? Right, Yammie? Please! Number 4 is a rider I see pop up in my comments all the time, and this one confuses me to no end. It's the Leaderbike is my daily, bro. I'm not sure who hurt this particular person, but they've decided to purchase a motorcycle that literally only wants one thing, and they use it for everything but that one thing. If you wake up in the morning and walk out to the garage and hop on a Leaderbike to head out to the office, either something has gone terribly wrong in your life or terribly right. I'm not sure. I mean, you don't just own one Leaderbike and no other vehicles, right? It's literally impossible to get groceries on a 1000 unless you're getting just a singular hot pocket and you want to heat it up on the way to the office, so you put it under the seat. Look, I know this isn't what the daily Leaderbike rider wants to hear, but honestly, listen close. Are you listening? Come close. Good. You need to buy a scooter. I know. You don't want a heater. A scooter is for girls or tiny little Italian dudes scooting around and drinking espresso in a tan suit with their Ducati biscotti crap in a lunch basket filled with a sandwich, side salad, and vino for one. But think about it. Your bike's first gear probably ends somewhere around over 80 miles an hour, so you're already not shifting gears much. Guess what? Scoots have automatic transmissions. You don't have to actually worry about it. There's tons of storage on board, so instead of a hot pocket, you could actually get a real meal. Lastly, they're really comfortable. You don't have to be wadded up like an origami swan. Yeah, they don't look cool, but they're actually a lot of fun as a daily rider. Just saying. If you have a Leaderbike as your only bike, just throw in a scooter in the mix. I won't tell anybody. Number 5 goes to the clapped out early 2000s Leaderbike rider. Now, you might look at the clapped out Leaderbike rider and think they're just another form of the Gixxer Bro, Yammie, but you'd be wrong. The clapped out Leaderbike rider only wants to go fast. They don't care about hitting apexes or lap times or technologies. They just want to rev out a motorcycle as far as they can and hit top speed late night on a freeway. They roll race Mustangs and other fast cars and have a smug air of superiority when they dust up on cars worth 10 times as much as their bike, if not more. They hit up Craigslist and look for any motorcycle with 2 criteria only. First, it must have 1000 cc's, no more, no less. Second, it needs to be as cheap as humanly possible. Was it an ex-stunt bike? Who cares? Was it wadded up on the track? Perfect. Was it owned by some internet talkie man who wrapped it in hentai? That'll do, pig. They'll run it until it explodes. They won't change the oil, loop the chain, or even clean the bike because it's already a piece of crap when it dies. They'll just get some other bottom dollar Leaderbike. They're using them like tissue paper at this point. They have no attachment to this bike, no loyalty to manufacturer. They just want to go fast. Oh, number 6, guys, is one that's going to be hard for me to talk about. It's the stretched ZX10 rider. Why did I single out one particular instance of a Leaderbike getting stretched out and not ridden by absolute hooligans? Because they're closeted Busa boys and they're not being honest to themselves. Think about it. When you see a crowd of Busas and ZX14s, there's always at least one ZX10 that's stretched out from the early 2010s with a swing arm longer than the rider's list of speeding tickets. You want to know why he's got so many speeding tickets? Because he's the slowest one in the crew and everyone just leaves him behind when the cops show up. If you're a stretched ZX10 rider and this one's hitting a little too close to home, you do know there's a solution, right? It'll only cost you $13,000, 2 words, 9 letters, and all of your dignity. Turbo Busa. Oh wait, you spent all your money on chrome and a fatter rear tire. Never mind, have fun being slow. Last on the list today goes to the cheater bike bro. This guy just wanted to have a few extra cubes to flex on everyone else with. The final form of the kid who always needs to have the last word in the schoolyard argument, and you know his dad's gonna beat up your dad. But you wanna know the worst part of all? His bike does sound better than yours. Yes, the Aprilia RSV4, the Tuono, and the Ducati V4 all sound better than basically every other motorcycle made except for the Yamaha R1. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Listen to this exhaust clip we got of the RSV4 we rented for a video. How is that not the greatest thing ever? Now, it's okay, I know that you're sad and I'm not patting you on the head and telling you your R1 sounds better, but remember this, my adolescent myopsida. He might have a bike that sounds better than yours, but with all those extra cubes, he's still making about the same amount of power as you are. Fact, before he became president, Abraham Lincoln was wrestling champion of his county in Illinois. He fought in nearly 300 matches and lost only one. Goodbye. Keep watching Yammie Noob.